Today we're making new friends. We're building a community. And we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.
Good evening and welcome back to the Nine Bowling Club in Lower Hutt for day one of the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. We've had 3 rounds of action so far. 10 teams going for just 2 spots in the Bowls3Five Televised League on Sky Sport later this year. Now time for round 4 action, the 4th and final round of the day. In section 1, it's Takapuna up against Royal Oak and Nelson against Hastings, Tairi with the bye. And in section 2, Auckland taking on Hediwera and Timaru against New Plymouth, with the Parajacks, who are 3 from 3, getting the evening off. But our game that we are bringing to you just moments away, it is Takapuna and Royal Oak. Takapuna looking for their first win of the tournament. Royal Oak with 1 win and 1 defeat so far. Wendy Jensen, Lisa Parlane and Simon Poppleton are the trio for Takapuna. And for Royal Oak, it is Philly Akaruru, David Akaruru and Tio Turua. Let's hand it up to Kevin Hickland, my co-commentator.
So round 4 about to get underway here at the Nine Complex. That we Takapuna up against Royal Oak, and Takapuna the side of Wendy Jensen, Lisa Parlane and Simon Poppleton looking to open their account and to have any show, of course, to go forward to the semi-final stage. A win in this game for Takapuna is imperative. Royal Oak, of course, a win and a loss. They lost their last round game to Nelson, and now up against, of course, Takapuna. And leading off for the Royal Oak side is the very colourful and well-loved Philomena Akarua. Very, very admired person, very colourful person, and really brings that Polynesian flavour to the game. And
she's great. Still a junior bowler, of course.
She is.
Philly Akaruru, but she was very admired over the time with the Royal Oak Rockets and Bowls3Five on Sky Sport. Obviously, your brother David Akaruru and also Tio Turua, who was part of the Rockets side last year that were relegated from Bowls3Five, but looking to get back there. And they've made a solid start to this competition. And another win over Takapuna would be another big step for them to get through to the semi-finals.
Well, the big thing as well, Brenton, is these 3 players certainly display their enjoyment of the game. They love playing, and they bring some. They're just happy people and good players as well. Of course, remember Tiro Toro, the skipper, of course, is also part of the Auckland representative side. So, very, very good player. And we know this Takapuna side, pretty classy side with Wendy Jensen, Lisa Parlane and Simon Poppleton, and of course Takapuna desperately needing to get a W next to their name as we watch Wendy Jensen going pretty quick on the way through.
Running into the jack rather than just collecting it, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really quick on the way through.
Takapuna with a narrow defeat to Nelson in round 1. Following that up with a tiebreaker defeat to Hastings in round 2. Then they had to bye in round 3. So without a win, obviously still got a game to come tomorrow as well against Tairi. But they need a victory here, Takapuna, if they're to keep their semi-final hopes alive and their hopes of being part of Bowls3Five on Sky Sport later this year. As Lisa Parlane.
Yeah, Lisa Parlane playing 2 for Takapuna, had a magnificent season this year in the North Harbour representative side, and I think in the send-out won 8 from 9. Played for New Zealand development side a few years back. Got beaten 2 years in a row, or 2 years out of 3 in fact. Got beaten in the final of the New Zealand Peers, once by Val Smith and Joe Edwards, and then by the mother and daughter combination of the Scott combination from Auckland. But a very, very good player is Lisa Parlane, and is on the comeback trail, and has opened up on this end with the shot as they change over. Very determined player. This looks as though it's going to sit under the line, but might finish jack level, which Simon Popperton will be happy with.
Yeah, we'll be happy with that start. So obviously after she ran into the jack, did Wendy Jensen, Lisa Parlane setting up the head nicely as Takapuna support staff watch on.
Faye Freeman, of course, sitting there with Graham Doreen and Anne Doreen and Robin Walker. Faye Freeman, a very, very, very strong administrator of sport in North Harbour, and Graham Doreen, sort of the man behind the surge of Takapuna, and Robin Walker, the wife of Brett O'Reilly, well-known bowler and follower of sport. As we see Akara getting a Tuaroa, got a slide under the head. Won't make shot of it though. Will still be 1-2 Takapuna. Simon Popperton, very, very accomplished indoor bowler as well as Popperton. And just looking at this, as the line was good, the weight's not so good though.
Yeah, seen him play with Grant Nisbet and John Macbeth at previous nationals
They
in the
have.
fours. Simon Popperton's been the skip of their quartet.
And this bob of Tiro is going to be under the line, gets another feather again for the second time, but not sufficient to alter the head, and will definitely be 1-2 Takapuna. And this bowl of Popperton's looks on a better line. They're going to go by. They're just going to go by. And Takapuna will open the scoring with a 1.
Takapuna on the board first against Royal Oak in this North Harbour Auckland matchup here at the Bowls3Five Interclub Finals. Royal Oak, of course, they didn't come through the Auckland Centre to get to this stage. They were put in the Bowls3Five Interclub Finals after being relegated from the league on Sky Sport last year. Takapuna coming through the North Harbour Centre to earn their place here at 9i.
Except more than likely Brenton except for the Parajacks. This round and the round tomorrow morning, but this round especially for these teams, going to have a big bearing on what goes on tomorrow, isn't it? For all of these sides that are out here. So this round is it's a big round. This is the moving round really for a number of these sides. The Parajacks with 3 from 3 in the bye. You would think they look fairly comfortable to book a semi-final spot.
Yeah, I'd say you can count them in. So far in their pool, they've got Timalu, who have lost all 3, so they're gone. New Plymouth have lost 2 from 3, so they've still got...
They have to win 2.
So, sorry, they've lost 2 from 2, so they've still got another two games remaining. So they're still a chance, but they can't pass the Parajacks, obviously. And then Auckland, 2 from 2, and Hinueta 1 from 2. So those two sides can still catch or pass the Parajacks in Auckland's case, but you'd think, in a way, Parajacks are sitting quite pretty in that position, especially the game to come against Auckland. So that could be...
Oh, that's the game tomorrow morning, Auckland v the Parajacks.
Auckland against the Parajacks. So that could be really more for top spot in the pool, depending on what happens in Auckland's game against Hinueta, of course.
So we've just seen a shot being drawn there from Philomena Akarua through Jack level. And the other section.
Yeah, the other section, obviously, Takapuna here, desperately needing a win after dropping their first 2 games. Royal Oak have had 1 win and 1 loss. Nelson, 2 wins and 1 loss. This is their final game that they're playing right now against Hastings. And then they wasn't sure what the final result was in the Hastings Tidy game. I don't know if you caught that, as there we see the points table. So Tidy, we haven't had that updated, I don't think, as of yet. I know just the points table haven't been updated for Hastings. So Hastings won that one. Just the points tally not updated there. So Hastings did beat Tidy. So Hastings are 2 from 2. And Tidy now 1 from 3.
So of course, Hastings are now playing Nelson.
Exactly. And it's Nelson's final game, just like it is for Timaru, their final game of section play. They will not be playing tomorrow morning. They have the bye tomorrow morning.
So this round will decide one semi-finalist, literally, in that section, won't it? With that Hastings Nelson game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you did right. If Nelson win, they'll be through. Hastings, if they lose, they won't necessarily be out. But if they win, then they're through as well. And Nelson would have to sweat on results tomorrow morning. Yeah. And also this game here between Takapuna and Royal Oak.
Well, that's the other section. Yeah, there's all sorts of
plenty of permutations.
Permutations there right throughout. Simon Poppleton down on the head now. On the mat is the Takapuna skip. And here is Poppleton on the forehand. Endeavouring to get to, just goes by trying to get to the so here we have now Tiro Tarua drawing to the head, and he's just going to sit underneath the bowl. So Poppleton trying to draw now down on the head, on the forehand. So it goes past, the commentary box needs to get the jack, and he's going to get a touch on the jack around the corner, and I'm sure that's the Takapuna. That's the Wendy Jensen bowl sitting out there where the jack is landed right on top, and the Simon Poppleton first bowl. So that's more than likely Takapuna laying with 2 shots. There's
Teo Tudo needing something special here. It's certainly Takapuna already grabbed the mat. And Simon Poppleton, I think he'll hope to grab the jack next. And it's not going to change the situation. So that should be 2 to Takapuna.
Just so we'll see that board change. 2 ends gone on this, the first set. It was definitely Takapuna. I saw Lisa Parlane drawing a number in the air, and it was a 4.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, not just 2. Double that, 4 for Takapuna. So, great end for them.
The jack movement certainly was a big plus for Simon Poppleton.
Yeah, so Teo Tudo really just needed to try and cut that number. Wasn't able to do it though. So 4 for Takapuna. Great start for them as they seek their first win of the competition and look to stay in semi-final contention.
A good opening bowl from Wendy Jensen. You see the jack sitting at the shortest length and draws just over jack level, but sitting just on the outer perimeter of the ring. As
the mat all the way up, but the jack in the middle length, the middle spot of the 3 lengths that you can place the jack on in Bowls3Five. Wendy Jensen has brought the mat all the way up. Philly Akaruru wasn't far off with her first either.
So Wendy Jensen, former blackjack, and won a number of titles now in North Harbour, of course, previously Counties Manukau. and won a number of, and of course, part of a New Zealand side, and won, in fact, 2004, won a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games in the triples with Val Smith, Marlene Castle and Wendy Jensen. They won the triples and then was out of the international scene for a number of years. Came back in the international scene last year. And in fact, talking about Lisa Parlane, the two finals, the pairs, that national pairs that she lost. Lisa Parlane was playing then at Royal Oak, and it was Marlene Castle and Lisa Parlane that lost those that were defeated in those two finals. So two very, very top-line players off the front for Takapuna with Wendy Jensen and Lisa Parlane. Here is Parlane holding the shot and draws again down towards the jack. Going to sit right in line of the jack. There's another good bowl from the Takapuna middle player, and putting the pressure right on David Akarua after a 1 and a 4 to the Takapuna side, after Simon Poppleton managed to, with his second bowl, managed to turn and trail the jack. So here, Lisa Parlane on her forehand, trying to beat her last bowl just low of the jack. And certainly under the line with that bowl. And more than likely lacked a metre of weight. So David Akarua, the Royal Oak greenkeeper. It's interesting, he's got the sunglasses on top of that. We've got the lights on, dark outside, and very enjoyable company is David Akarua, and trying to get back into this match after dropping at 4 in 2.
Skips now changing over. Simon Poppleton and Tio Turua now making their way to the mat. Simon Poppleton, a few short words with his lead, and number 2, Wendy Jensen and Lisa Parlane as he crosses over.
The Takapuna wave is the you see there on the tops of the Wendy Jensen and Lisa Parlane tops. Simon Poppleton drawing down to the head, drawing around the bowl.
Very good bowl from Simon Poppleton. Skip off his Takapuna wave side. We got the nickname sorted if they, do manage to secure a place.
Their name, don't they?
Bowls3Five on Sky Sport.
The Tyree Tigers.
Yeah, there's that Hastings Hornets as well.
So Tarua trying to get a slide off what is their second shot bowl, and Lisa Parlane saying to Simon Poppleton, side of a bit of danger out here. And then walking down halfway down to have a look. Just pointing out where there's some danger on that trail. And I can see there's a danger. Yeah, there's a couple of 3 of the Royal Oak bowls out to the side there. So Poppleton will come on his backhand, trying to put some cover in. And needs just to get past these front bowls. It's got weight and won't sit on anything. And we saw the weight that Turua played, and that's what he'll endeavour to play again, to either get to the shot bowl or jack movement.
Turua. Looks like 2 down. Yeah, 2 confirmed there for Lisa Parlane and the Takapuna triple. So they extend their lead and well in control of this first set. 7-0 they lead Royal Oak now after 3 of the 5 ends. First set.
But of course, as we saw, Brenton, in that last game with the Parajacks, their match, that they were convincing against New Plymouth in that first set, and then it's interesting, the New Plymouth side scored on 4 of the 5 ends, of course, in that second set, all singles, and went to the tie break. And we saw Mark Noble play that drive to get the victory. So, first set, sure, it's all over for you, but you can come back, as we saw. I've seen in a number of games. So, good opening bowler from Wendy Jensen, sitting right on the centre line, just lower the jack. And it's about 15 inches lower the jack, but right on that centre line. So Jensen will play on her forehand.
So I've seen 3 tiebreaker ends already today at these Bowls3Five Interclub finals. Hastings have been involved in 2 and won both of theirs. And the Parajacks the other, as we brought to you in round 3 action here at the 9i Bowling Club.
Was I right in what I heard that Mark Noble remarked that in the Bowls3Five televised event they played in 7 tie breaks?
Yeah, that would not surprise me if that's 100% correct.
Yeah, I thought
that's an incredible number of tie breaks.
So here's Philly Akaroa, just goes by the jack. The bowl falls in, may well be shot. Simon Popperton having a look and indicating that it is still the front bowl of Wendy Jensen's, which is the shot bowl.
You can hear her barking at the bowl as well.
Certainly she was talking the bowl towards the jack, that's for sure.
As you mentioned, a real character is Philly Akaruru. Great for Bowls3Five. She'll undoubtedly be missed if Royal Oak don't earn their place back in Bowls3Five on Sky Sport.
That bowl of Lisa Parlane's just going by straight on the centre line, but a metre in behind, was certainly in the area, just going in between the 2 Wendy Jensen bowls. And here is David Akadura. Looks as that's going to be under the line, and it certainly is. As you said, Philly Akadura still a junior, still under 5 years, so making a name for herself in the Auckland scene, that's for sure. As we see Parlane now on her forehand, of course, Royal Oak, or Onehunga as it was then, that was where Lisa Parlane started her bowling career with her father, mum and dad, both played at the old Onehunga club.
Yeah, of course, merging with Hillsborough to form Royal Oak a few years ago, just before Bowls3Five started. Philly Akaruru chasing this one down from her brother.
Got the front of the bowl, not the side, but certainly cut it down. Just the one. Of course, Wendy Jensen, another one who's a former Onehunga player as well, played there a number of years ago. So, yeah, you've got 5 of the 6 players. 3 now Royal Oak and 2 former of the old Onehunga club. And plans there for their covered indoor complex to get underway this year, which I'm sure will be well utilised at the Royal Oak club. So Poppleton, the skip, for Takapuna, leading 7-0 after 3 of 5 ends in this first set.
Yeah, looking to close out this set really, Takapuna. Take one step towards posting their first win of the competition. Takapuna losing a real arm wrestle against Nelson first up. Drew the first set against this fancy Nelson combination, which we brought you their second round game. Of course, they've got Joe Edwards, Val Smith and Richard Collett, all past or present internationals. And of course, talking about Joe Edwards and Val Smith, 2 of New Zealand's greatest ever. And then Takapuna losing tiebreaker end in round 2. They lost the first set 4-2, won the second 6-2. So they've been close in everything, and then they had the bye in the third round. So this is the most comfortable they've been really all tournament so far. This fourth round of the day, opening day, 2-day tournament, the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the fifth and final round.
And Simon Popperton just asking Lisa Parlane where there's any danger. And Popperton will draw on his backhand, trying to just get past the head. The indication from Lisa Parlane was that they're holding 2 shots. And this the fourth end of 5. And they've been pretty convincing in this set. So I'm sure we're going to see Te Roa trying to get down. I thought he might play the other hand to get that jack trail result, but reaching up through the head with weight, trying to get to that shot bowl, man, was slightly under it, just the one to Takapuna there.
So he did reduce the count, didn't he? But it's the one for Takapuna. So very much still in control of this first set. 8-0 they now lead after 4 of the 5 ends.
Well, it's safe to say that unless the power play was called from Royal Oak, that Takapuna got the first set in the bag.
Yeah, I haven't seen any indication of that from Tuarua. Skip for Royal Oak, or his lead, and number 2, Philly and David Akaruru.
So it's 9-0 on the board, so may have been 2, but it's up on 9-0.
Oh, interesting.
Been posted on the scoreboard.
So I'm sure only one was signalled.
So that's what I thought too. So Philly Akarua, after Wendy Jensen, it's left a metre to draw the shot, and Philly Akarua, she'll certainly draw the shot here. Just comes lower the jack. You'll see about it 15 inches short of the jack. So Wendy Jensen now on this, the 5th end of the first set, the final end. And it's going to be under the head, drifting well away.
Yeah, almost finishes jack level, but didn't have the line right. Wendy Jensen, and so an overcorrection from her first. Philly Akaruru, who was found a pretty good line and weight with her first. To add another to the count
it's
here.
on a good line, on a very good line, and it certainly is. It comes towards the jack.
Applauded by Teo Tuarua as well. Second bowl from Philly Akaruru. So 2 good bowls off the front for Royal Oak. As you can see on the scoreboard though, Takapuna in control. And they can't lose this first set unless a power play has been called that we didn't know about.
I can see the president of Bowls New Zealand sitting up behind there with watching his phone, and I know, no doubt, he is watching the Crusaders match. Very, very passionate Crusaders supporter.
He was quite worried, wasn't he?
He was. So, David Akarua now trying to just add to the head after 2 superb bowls from his sister Philly, and this will count as well. Just feathers in towards the head. So Simon Popperton really saying to Wendy Jensen, play what? Because there's no bowls really there for the Takapuna side, so the chance here for Parlane to work inside the jack low bowl, and it's certainly in that target area as it comes by, and it's going to go by and touch nothing. So 9-0, not that that can change the result of the set result.
Well, it's a similar situation to what we saw in the previous round, isn't it? Parajacks dominated the first set. It was 10-0 after 4 ends, so 9-0 after 4 ends in this encounter. But we saw in the previous match how New Plymouth won that 5th and final end and then managed to get things going, and they certainly earned a tiebreaker end. And unfortunately for them, luck didn't go their way in that tiebreaker end, but you can get a bit of a confidence boost if you can start to string it together in this final end. Just get on the scoreboard and then go from there and start afresh in the second set.
Well, as we said, Brendan, the important thing for New Plymouth in that last end was, last match, they scored on the last end of the first set, because they'd been really, really struggling with line and weight. Just gave them some confidence, and then they came out in that second set. We saw Val McAdowney start drawing shots off the front, and all of a sudden things change.
Poppleton, the drive, got rid of one from the area. Now Tio Tuarua looking to add back another one to the count. Rocks the shot bowl, slides by. Poppleton playing with more controlled weight this time.
He's on reach. Fairly good line. He gets a feather off the bowl, but just go by. And so the last bowl of the first set. Definitely the Royal Oak. That's the shot. And just going to slip by.
So it's just the one, I believe.
So one taken out. And then out comes the measure. Is it from Wendy Jensen to look at that for Lisa Parlane, looking at that second one. And indication was there from David Akarua that they thought they had the shot, the bowl out the side. So let's stop talking about it. Let's get the measure out, and we can start the second set.
So already one taken away, so they have one. It's just whether they have two. Just the one.
Just the one it was.
Signalled by David Akaruru. So it is Takapuna who take the first set 9-1 over Royal Oak in this 4th round match here at the Bowls3Five Interclub Finals. A reminder, 10 sides are here at the Nine Bowling Club in Lower Hutt, vying for 2 places in Bowls3Five on Sky Sport later in the year. 6 sides already decided, including the Stokes Valley Vipers, champions from last year. Gore Rams, Elmwood Park Saints, Manurewa Kites, and Point Chevalier Pirates. And there's another club that I've just forgotten, but 6 clubs there waiting to find out who the other 2 will be. And Takapuna need to win this, and so far so good for them. Top 2 sides from each section of 5 moving through to tomorrow's semi-finals. And Takapuna looking for their first win of the tournament. Royal Oak looking for their second win from 3 games.
And you can see Hastings leading Nelson 6-2 as we play the last end of the first set. It's a big match.
Yeah, the winner of that one you'd think is through to the semi-finals, so a virtual quarter-final there. It is Nelson's final game of section play, so really Nelson must win that, because otherwise they're going to be relying on other results. There'd be 2 wins from 4 if they lose to Hastings. So a big game. That's the other game in this section, section 1. And in section 2 we've got Auckland up against Henuera, Timaru up against New Plymouth. Timaru and New Plymouth both looking for their first wins of the competition, and I think they've just updating the scores in that Timaru New Plymouth game, and in the game between Auckland and Henueta, it is Henueta with a 4-3 advantage after 4 of 5 ends in the first set.
So Philly Akaroa, her second bowl, got the shot to the first. You can see it just locked in behind the jack. The Wendy Jensen bowl is about 9 inches low of the jack. So definitely the Royal Oak holding the shot. And this is the first end of, and it looks to be narrow and nowhere near the target area. That bowl of Wendy Jensen's sort of bit of perhaps a shot. And of course we're now into that all-important second set. Forget what happened in the first set. It's Royal Oak now holding the shot on Ian 1 as David Akaroa, and this is just going to go by. It's going to sit on the bowl. It does, sits on the shot bowl, and that'll be 2 shots to Royal Oak, and they're very good where those bowls are located on the head. Certainly challenging head to draw to for the Takapuna side. It's Lisa Parlane now on the mat. It's got the jacks right back on that furthest most.
Playing with weight.
But that line was never on. That
narrow.
was never. And was narrow and short. So all of a sudden, Royal Oak now in the Ian 1.
Yeah, looked out of the hand that she was playing with that reaching weight, but just stopped ground to a halt, and it was narrow, and it was clear early on. Playing right to that deepest point, which we haven't seen that much of in our games that were broadcast for you this afternoon. The majority of the jacks have been placed on the front 2 spots, shortest in the middle length, not the full length. The mat is brought up, but still haven't played to the 2 metre mark very often.
Parlane stayed right down on her delivery with that particular bowl and was playing with that weight, Brendan, that you spoke about, and yeah, just over the head, and you could see right now there's a lot of weight needed to get to that.
Yeah.
You know, that was out of the hand. That looked to be plenty of weight. And
well, that's why I was confused by the previous bowl from Lisa Parlane. I thought she really gave it reaching weight, but it's just the green is well and truly slowed up, hasn't it?
That's only gone by the jack by a metre. You know, that looked with a lot of weight out of the hand.
So having to adapt to the slowing green here at 9-9 as the temperature drops. Obviously, time of day it is. Very much no natural light coming into the venue anymore.
There's a very difficult head for Simon Popperton to play to, and you know, I personally think he's more than likely better, which he's now changing onto that backhand side to really, he could sit on what is the second shot bowl of the Royal Oak side. You know, he needs to have the weight to get up, and he's certainly got the weight. He's going to go by, and I think, you know, he's obviously seen bowls pulling up short, and it's a target which you can't really. There's no bowls to work off, so it's a very difficult head for Takapuna to play at. And this is the first end of the second set, and being urged on this bowl of needs to get past the Wendy Jensen bowl, not going to do so, and asking is Simon Popperton, do I get underneath that bowl to get to the target, to get to the jack, but so Popperton coming up to have a look. You'll see now as Lisa Parlane walks away. And of course, you've got to get under that other short bowl as well, Brendan. So that means you do need a lot of weight. So Popperton having a good look at the head. He knows in his mind what he's going to play, but Royal Oak started off on this second set. Very good start by their front by Philly Akaroa, who drew the shot. shots, and just makes a difference when your lead gets that job done for you at the start of the head, right on the jack. And especially with the green slowing up, the danger is you try and dead draw and you're going to really struggle. And this bowl, if Poppledon's, it's going to be under the head, needs a lot of luck to get slides and all sorts of things, doesn't do so. And out comes one. Two it was.
So good start for Royal Oak in this second set. They pick up a 2 on the opening end of 5, having dropped the first, but if they win the second set they can go to a tiebreaker.
And interesting to see, Brendan, that the Royal Oak side have persevered with the jack right back to the furthest most spot, playing away from us.
Just making sure we haven't. There's no power play call from either side. Maybe Takapuna could have used theirs. Unfortunately, don't have the indications on the boards from a couple of the other rinks near us as to who won the first set in our game between Timaru and New Plymouth, and Nelson and Hastings. They've completed their first sets but don't have the indicator score up there. But from last check, Hastings were leading Nelson after 4 of the 5 ends. There's one indicator we do have other than our game here. I can let you know that Henuera took the first set against Auckland.
Very important game, that Henuera Auckland game for sure, as we see the bowler Wendy Jensen's go by the head. Bowls New Zealand president still very intent on that Crusaders game, knowing that the Crusaders have got to win by 33 points to have a chance of making the finals. So, Wendy Jensen needing to improve. Well, a metre, she got to draw the shot. Looked narrow out of the hand. Simon Poppleton's looking closely at it. Is it going to get past the front bowl of Philly Akaroa? No, it's not. That's short. And that's really, that's 2 completely ineffective bowls from Wendy Jensen on this, the second end of 5.
Big opening here for David Akaruru.
And he's taken that advantage, that opportunity as well, Brendan, and draws just lower the jack. But
they are slowing up quick, aren't they?
Very much so.
That looked to be heading right towards the jack, and that just stopped.
Look, I don't know. I reckon it's about 12 or 13 seconds it slowed down, because it's certainly challenging weight. That's the... So Lisa Parlane, you saw from the backswing, there's plenty of weight out of the delivery point.
It's probably going to be a perfect draw.
Well, is it going to get inside the bowl? No, it's not. But
does, unfortunately promotes that bowl.
So David Akaroa on his backhand.
So Akaruru's bowl. David Akaruru holding shot now after being promoted by his opposite number 2, Lisa Parlane.
And there's a good bowl here, but you see it quickly pull up, but still in a good spot.
Into inside the target circle.
Well, it is, and the difficulty from the Takapuna point of view, Brenton, is they're all on a straight line to the jack. So from there, and with the green slowing up, the ability to draw around bowls becomes that much more challenging.
Lisa Parlane wants to have a little look at the head for herself. So going to make her way down the other end of the green.
So the way the green's playing, you think you'd be better to play to the other hand now, so that you're not going to get caught up on anything. Or the other option, of course, is to stay on the hand which you play and make her target the second shot bowl that in behind the head, which is a Royal Oak bowl. And that's the key thing. You're going to be playing that hand to make sure that you're not trying to draw inside the line, that you're playing with weight, which is going to hold you up and sit inside that that bowl, especially as the green slows down, just makes it that much more challenging. I think Parlane on her forehand had a good look at the head, knows the line and the weight that's required. Stays down on the bowl, always a good sign. How far is it going to duck away? And it's going to go by good meter a bit.
Fair effort. What are tricky conditions now?
Oh,
as
that's
you
tricky.
mentioned, these greens are slowed up, so getting that weight judgment right is tougher and tougher. Joe Edwards has just put up the indicator marker for us to let us know that Hastings did in fact win the first set of their contest against Nelson. That's the other game in this section, section 1 of the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. Hastings looking to make it 3 wins from 3. Nelson looking to make it 3 from 4. Either side you'd think would book their place in the semi-finals if they win. So a big contest, that other one in this section, as is this game here that we're bringing to you.
Well, that bolt of the Tira, which I think they would count, Brendan came under the head, but sits jack low, but looking at how the head's positioned, and it's interesting that if you look at it, Wendy Jensen didn't give a start for the Takapuna side, and immediately you leave the door open, and just makes it, and especially on a challenging weight green like we've got right now. Poppleton, the pressure on now, dropping to 2 shots. This is a better line from Simon Poppleton. How far is it going to come back? Needs to get a bit of luck here and gets outside the bowl. Don't think it'll make any change.
So certainly 2 Royal Oak holding, potentially 3, certainly 2 in a measure, you'd think. Teo Turo now with his last of this second end. If he just lands on that, leaves a Parlane bowl. No, it just slides by. That I think would have made 3 of it for sure.
So Lisa Parlane pointing out to Simon Poppleton, there's the draw line just inside your bowl. But you're really playing with a yard of weight to make sure you're in the target area, because if you take that weight off, you'll certainly pay the price. So this bowler Poppleton's looking for that area to sit on the bowl. This looks a good effort here from Simon Poppleton.
Simon Poppleton, and that is the shot and the end. That will do it. Should be 1 to Takapuna, confirmed by David Akaruru. So Royal Oak holding 2, and then a great final bowl. Great judgment of the weight there from the Takapuna skip, Simon Poppleton, and they're on the board in the second set. It's Royal Oak after 2 of 5 to 1 they lead.
It was well played by Simon Poppleton, because that head, to be fair, was looking pretty tacky, pretty difficult in trying to judge that weight down through that port. Very challenging. And straight away we see Wendy Jensen has shortened that length up. You'll see the mat's up quite a distance, and they're certainly playing a shorter length.
Yeah, shortest possible length they're playing now.
And responded by just over just 1.5 meters past the jack was Wendy Jensen, but certainly the Takapuna didn't seem comfortable playing that longer length, Brendan, did they? They really they struggled.
They'll be happy to have control of the mat back, and very much in this contest in this second set. Dominated the first, as the scoreboard top left hand corner shows you. 9-1 they took it, and only 1 shot down on this second set. This is the 3rd of 5 we are playing now.
So the first bowl of Philly Akarua, short, and this bowl of Wendy Jensen, it's going to be under the line. It's just a matter if it's going to finish jack level. Yes, it will. Once another bowl of Jensen just goes by the jack. And, looking around the rinks, Brenton, that, they're not really hugging the jack, any of the rinks, when you look round the ends out there. So the weight, as the nights come on here, the weight has become challenging. And not though for Philly Akaroa, who draws a front toucher.
And no doubt it'll be the same tomorrow morning as well, because obviously we're getting underway a lot earlier.
Correct.
Tomorrow. We had a 12:30 start today, and that will roughly be the time of the final tomorrow. So we've got the fifth and final round of section play to come first thing in the morning, and then the semi-finals from around 11 o'clock. So yeah, it's certainly going to be cooler conditions, more akin to what they're dealing with now. And we have to adapt as the green, instead of slowing down like it has through the 4 rounds, it'll be speeding up tomorrow through the 3
Let's
rounds.
hope, because now the right call here from Simon Polverton, playing with some weight. Trying to dead draw here becomes a real challenge, especially when you've got second shot hanging around the head. And Lisa Parlane just got tangled up on one of the short bowls. She was certainly in a good target area. So David Akaruru now trying to draw another one after Sister Philly had drawn the shot just low of the jack. And this is going to come up slightly jack low, and
Might be second though.
so Simon Polverton really saying that it's the shot for Winnie Jensen to play if she can get inside that last bowl of David Akaru's. Gives her a chance of making sure at least she's got second shot, with Royal Oak leading 2-1 after 2 ends. After Takapuna won the first set 9 shots to 1. So Lisa Parlane playing her second bowl. And this is on a pretty good line as it breaks in towards the head and the jack, and well, it's a good attempt from Parlane. This bowl of David Akarua is going to draw all the way in, or gets, no, just feathers off it, stays outside the head. So having a good look at Simon Polverton, stunning the head.
Green discussion again, this time from the Takapuna triple. Simon Polverton joined by Winnie Jensen and Lisa Parlane. Now he turns around, makes his way towards the mat. He, of course, will play first of the 2 skips.
And of course, no power play used to date, to the best of our knowledge. Nothing's come.
No, so you think both power plays for both Takapuna and Royal Oak up the sleeve. Simon Polverton now on the draw. It's a decent line, but
Just going by.
yeah, it just lands on the deep bowl of Winnie Jensen. Takapuna's lead. Now Teo Tuarua quickly about his work. No mucking around on the mat. And this is going to a similar line to the previous one of Polverton, but this time he doesn't get the fortune of getting a touch on the bowl of Jensen. That slides by 2.
So Simon Polverton just looks at that's going to drop under the line, and will do. Doesn't need the weight anyway to get to the head.
So how do they even bother playing here? They hold 1. Pretty sure the second shot is when Lisa Parlane bowls.
The option looking to play across the head to play to the Lisa Parlane bowl to try and face it out of the head. Playing under the head to try and do so. He's not going to do so.
That's 1 for Royal Oak. So they take a 3-1 advantage now. And we're just looking to see if any power play calls from either side. Keep an eye out. Royal Oak 3-1 advantage. 3 ends of 5 played. Second set.
So Takapuna.
Yeah, Simon Poppleton. Yeah, well, thank you, Philly, for asking Tio where the Royal Oak was going to play theirs, because we found out that Simon Poppleton, Takapuna's playing his.
Thank you. So this is the big end now for Takapuna. After winning the first set, now trailing 3-1 as we play in 4. And not the start that Philly Akaruru wanted. Under the head, goes by a good metre and a half to 2 metres. Now Wendy Jensen, here's your beat. You've got to just draw close here. This is the end where the leads must excel on the power play. And breaking down towards the head now. This looks on a fairly good line, but no, again, that lacks 2 metres of weight, and that's, you know, the vision line here for Wendy Jensen is a metre past that ring. That's the vision line, a metre past. Not trying to draw a metre in front, because, or using the metre in front as your draw line, because you're definitely going to fall short. Philly Akaruru is going to go by, but you'll see it pull up pretty quick on the goes by. So plenty of room on this power play for the lead, Wendy Jensen, to give the Takapuna a scoring chance, or building the head for them. Got to have the weight to get past her own bowl, and is going to do so. And better weight, but will be shot. Still a metre for David Akaruru to draw the shot on his backhand.
Yeah, found his range pretty well playing in this direction last time.
And is going to here as well, Brenton. Well, still look at that stop.
Great line. Didn't look like it was heading towards the jack, and
that's the shot though.
Nice to a hole. It is the shot, but it looked perfect.
It did look really
halfway
good.
down.
And it just went poof, just stopped.
Yeah, that's certainly been the case last few ends. It is noticeably slowed up.
So Lisa Parlane having a good look what shot she's going to play, looking to know where she needs to make sure that she's at the head with. And Parlane looks to me as though needs to get past the Jensen bowl cleanly. It's not going to do so. And of course, the minute it makes contact, it just stops. You're not going to get a run on. It just stops dead. So this power play's been an untidy start by Takapuna on this fourth end. And you hear then Philly saying, "Go on there, brother," and that would be.
Oh, that shot.
It certainly is.
There's still a lot of room to play into, but
there's a metre to draw.
Yeah, he's drawn 2 shots there, David Akaruru, but still left door open.
So standing there, you just might have seen in the camera the recently awarded New Year's Honour recipient, Peter Horn,
legend of para bowls in this country.
A member, of course, of the Nine Club. Lisa Parlane bowl just sails through the head, and in this, the weight of this green, Brendan, has got them. It's got them completely puzzled, hasn't it? They're just, you look at those 2 bowls of Wendy Jensen, so like that. They've played 4 bowls, Takapuna, and not one of them you can say is an effective bowl. And when it's your power play, that's the last thing that you want. And there's Mark Cameron, the CEO of Bowls New Zealand.
With Chris Landert from Bowls New Zealand as well. Peter Horn,
a legend in the para bowling fraternity. And we're going to see Te Roy Tarai. He's drawn it right in front of the jack, and Simon Poppleton now on their power play. Takapuna's got to change hands and follow that line down of the Te Roy Tarai bowl to get the shot. Definitely 2 down. well, a 3 down looking at the head. Wendy Jensen coaching this bowl on. Poppins needs some luck. Got it. Got some luck.
Oh, that'll be shot, you know.
That's the shot. Got an inside sit off the bowl, and of course at this point in time that lays 2 shots really, and we might see this get the Bacchus bowl. I think the call is let's just attack this with play with reaching weight down through there, and that's exactly what's happening from the Royal Oak skip, and the bowl
just as the bowl moved, just as it was arriving. Unbelievable.
Oh, the bowl fell in
just as Teo Tudos was coming. It was probably about 2 metres away, fell in and slid by. And smiles all round. Wry smiles from Takapuna and smiles of disbelief from David Akarunu.
It was online to the shot bowl and it just fell in. So this is the big end in the context of the match. And is Simon Popperton going to draw another to make 4? And he will. He'll do it. So it's a big end.
4. So from Royal Oak holding a couple on the head, Simon Popperton manages to grab 2. And that's doubled to 4. So that'll be 5-3. Takapuna now leading Royal Oak.
It must be Royal Oak's power play.
And final end, and it will be their power play, the Rockets. Of course, they will now have the final bowl. So, big moment in this game.
So it's imperative here that Wendy Jensen, after determining the length that the Takapuna side want, that she gives the start for the Simon Popperton skip side. And this looks a good opening bowl from Jensen. It comes towards the jack, and that's what you need. And draws right alongside it, draws a toucher. So Philip Akaruru now, the pressure on from bowl 1. Missed the last end on the Royal Oak power play. And he's going to come up just lower the jack. Wendy Jensen, one could say, waited till the 15th of the second set to give the Takapuna side a good starting to the head. And a slide from Jensen and moves the jack out to the side. And will definitely have 2 shots, Takapuna. So Philly Akaruru come down on her backhand, trying to get inside her front bowl, get down to the jack on the draw. The Royal Oak player.
Calling this one down is Philly Akaruru. You can see she liked it halfway down, and that's why. Brilliant bowl from Philly Akaruru. I must say, great bowls from both leads. Wendy Jensen for Takapuna and Philly Akaruru for Royal Oak Rockets. Yeah, power play. So as it currently stands, it'll be they're holding 1, double to 2. That would be 5 apiece in the second set. That would not be enough, of course, for the Rockets.
Because with Takapuna winning the first set, it's got to be a 4-shot scoring for the Royal Oak side, and the 2 bowls of Wendy Jensen just create some difficulty around that. But Philly Akaruru, she was confident that she'd drawn the shot halfway up and was applauding her bowl. And that's a good bowl from Lisa Parlane. And the shot.
Yeah, Simon Popperton, the finger in the air.
Yeah, it was sat right in behind the jack, played with reaching weight. So David Akarua will try and force through there with weight through that forehand port, trying to make contact and going to get the outside, flip their own bowl out of the head. Now, of course, when you start doing the maths at this point, Brendan, that bowl's gone dead. They've got 1 short bowl, and you need to get 4 shots. You need to get 2. So it just now sheer numbers start to create a real challenge for Royal Oak. And of course the other advantage which Takapuna now hold is they've got the deepest bowl on the rink. And what they don't want to do now, Takapuna, is leave any shoulders around for attack, because the Royal Oak guys will take every advantage of that.
So Lisa Parlane took a moment to make her way to the head, so likewise has David Akaruru, who's there alongside his skip, Teo Turua. Parlane, after a chat with her skip, Simon Poppleton, now made it back to the mat. Deciding fifth end of this second set. Power play for the Rockets. Parlane. It's bobbled out of the hand.
And this is another good bowl from Parlane. It's going to get past the head.
But it moved one of those Royal Oak bowls a bit further away from the target area, though, of course, reminding you that Royal Oak need to score 2 on this, given it's their power play. Drawn second set's not good enough. They need to win the second set outright to force a tiebreaker end.
So this requires now for David Akaruru to play down that same side again and trying to get that trail shot, off the Takapuna bowl. And he's on a good line. Is it going to be unlucky? Set outside the bowl.
Yeah, unfortunate there, so still holding shot. Royal Oak, Takapuna, excuse me, as the skips now will change over. Poppleton wanting to have a quick chat with Parlane as number 2.
Well, the area that Simon Poppleton has to get to is between the Wendy Jensen bowl, literally just a couple of feet over the head, to put on that trail shot which they're endeavouring to play, or to sit the bowl out.
So that was one of the black and white bowls, the one past the jack, not the one short.
The one that past the jack, that just sort of mixes things up a wee bit to play that yard through the head shot by Tiro, which he's more than capable of playing. But this bowl of Poppleton's, it's going to be narrow, and it's not going to do anything at all, and that still opens the door up here for the Royal Oak side on end 5, after, of course, Takapuna won the first set 9-1 and lead 5-3 in this, the last end on the Royal Oak power play. And I'm sure we're going to see Tarua will reach that with weight to try and dislodge the shot bowl and stay there themselves for 2. That's going to disappear under the head. Needs some luck.
Doesn't get it.
It's imperative that Simon Poppleton gets another bowl in and around the head, because so Poppleton now playing what he hopes will be his last bowl, and being encouraged by his teammates. They're going to sit on the bowl out, and that makes things better.
Oh, does it? Does that give an opportunity for Teo Turua to sit on that shot bowl and make 2 of it?
Well, looking from here, Brenton, correct. If he comes down and sits, is coming to have a look at the head, and it's a 2-shot sit.
It's obviously difficult, but it is possible. Teo Turua, if he could sit on that last bowl of Simon Poppleton, and then he holds the second shot. That bowl just out to the right. There's a Royal Oak bowl, blue bowl. Holding shot is that last bowl with toucher Simon Poppleton. As Teo's made his way down.
You would think
discussion with David Akaruru.
You would think playing with that weighted under, he can get to that bowl cleanly. You would think Brenton, and He certainly won't be short, that's for sure.
So here it is, to try and send this match into a tiebreaker end. Tio Tuaroa playing with
close.
weight.
Got the jack.
Spits it out now.
Who holds
the back? Who holds the back?
I would say Royal Oak does. One only.
Oh, one scored by the Rockets, and that's not enough, so it's a drawn second set. But Takapuna claim their first victory of this Bowls3Five Interclub finals and keep their semi-final hopes alive. Takapuna win it 1-0, a drawn second set. And congratulations to the Takapuna triple. Simon Poppleton, Lisa Parlane and Wendy Jensen, who are on the board.
But once again, though, Brendan,
I believe they're not going to be. Oh, I thought for a moment they were getting their bowls ready to continue playing. No, it has been done. Takapuna on the board for the season, and I'll make my way greenside and leave you in the hands of Kevin Hickley.
So what we saw was a repeat of the second round match, whereby in this game we saw Takapuna jump away to that first set, 9-1 winning that first set, and then Royal Oak coming really back into the second set and finishing up with a 5-all draw. And we certainly saw the speed of the green change around as well. So we've got now Brenda Van Nistelrooy is with the victorious Takapuna skip, Simon Poppleton.
Well, Simon, you've got to be happy with that. On the board, keeps the semi-final hopes alive.
Slim hopes, I think, Brenda, but yeah, it's good to get a win. The girls, we've been pretty close in the first couple of games, but hasn't quite panned out our way. But yeah, still, we're a small chance.
Yeah, it's the cutthroat nature, isn't it, of this format. It's narrow defeat, round one, round two, tiebreaker in defeat. Yeah. Just the way it goes sometimes.
It is. As I say, that's the way bowls goes at times. You can think you're playing pretty well and things just don't fall your way. The first game, my bowl fell out, which meant we lost. If it was fallen in or stayed up, we would have won the game. So anyway, it is what it is. You've got to press on and just hope for the best the next one.
Yeah, I suppose that's the plan. Tomorrow morning, come back, hopefully, depending on what happens behind us, that you might still be in the chance.
Well, I think we are looking for results to fall our way, realistically, but you can only do what you can do with your own game, so we'll just concentrate on playing Tyra in the morning, having a win there and just seeing how it lies.
Well, congratulations on that win. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Brendan. Cheers.
It's Simon Poppleton, the skip of Takapuna, who has come out with a win in the fourth round of day one of these Bowls3Five Interclub finals here at the Nine Eye Bowling Club in Lower Hutt. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We'll be back around 9:30. Make sure you join us here on Sky Sport. The fifth and final round, then it's the semi-final and our final. 10 clubs from around the country vying for 2 places in the Bowls3Five League on Sky Sport.
Today we're making new friends. We're building a community. And we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.